Yeah, thanks for asking me. And listen, it's a pleasure being here. I recognise some familiar faces, and more importantly, new faces. Um, you know, I just thought about the newcomer there, and I thought about a message I want to carry, and share me hope, faith, and courage. And that when I agreed to do a share, my motives come from the heart. Um, my motives come from how can I be of service to someone? How can I help someone? And whether that's someone that is only in the door, someone who's struggling to get clean, who's still using, who's still trying to live a certain way of life, or someone who's around a little bit and has put the program down, has got complacent, um, someone who's in the realms and doesn't have a sponsor, someone who has a sponsor and doesn't ring them, doesn't follow direction. I hope they hear something tonight that might change the course of where they're at in their recovery. And all the stuff I mentioned there, I was that person in loads of different times over my recovery over many, many years. And today I live by a program. I live by a set of guidelines, a set of rules. I was always one for breaking rules, and I was if there's a rule there, it's going to be broken. But today I follow a path to the best of my ability, whatever that even means. My ability could be different from today or tomorrow. Um, but I try. I try and be the best version of me I can be. And that program has given me that. Um, I'm Paul, and I'm a very grateful recovered addict. Now, I used to hear people saying that, and I used to say, ego, who the fuck does he think he is? Who does she think she is? Recovered. What are they talking about? I had no understanding. And I was very resentful of people who got well and were proud of it. I was uneasy with it because it highlighted how untreated I was. And today I'm one of them people, and I say it loud and proud. I've recovered from that hopeless state of mind. I don't wake up in the morning wanting to use. I don't spend my day robbing to get money to use. I'm not on clinics anymore. I'm not sticking needles in my groin or neck. I'm not robbing people. I'm not in prison. I'm not in hostels. I'm not on the streets. I'm a free man today because I recovered. I recovered. I understood what was wrong with me for the first time. And where did I get that understanding? Was the book. Plain and simple. It was the book and the 12 steps, which is something I resisted for many, many years. What it was like, I went to my first meeting in 2001. I was in a treatment centre. I was in this treatment centre after a significant overdose and nearly lost my life. And I ended up in this treatment centre. And within that treatment centre, I spent 22 months residential. I was the youngest person there at the time, and a lot of people in the treatment centre either used with my father or used with my mother, and I was taken under the wing, and it fed me ego, and which I didn't know all this stuff at the time. I wasn't using anymore, and I wasn't on the streets, and I wasn't running amok out there. I was in this bubble. And you know what? While I was there, I learned, I got this huge awareness. Everything about the treatment was about awareness, about my behaviours and people, places, and things, and what triggered me. I done all the CBT and the DBT and the psychotherapy, all the counselling, going back into my trauma. I thought if I walked through all this trauma that had happened to me as a child, that I would be cured. That's how clueless I was. I thought I would be cured going through a treatment centre. And I wasn't. I didn't even know what I suffered with at the time. And I used when I got out of treatment. In actual fact, I used in the treatment centre. I used when I got out and got into a relationship in the treatment centre and had another child and promised this woman the sun, moon and stars. I was gonna look after her. She was gonna have the best life. Um, and we had the child. I couldn't function in a relationship. I couldn't be a father to my first child, and I definitely couldn't be a father to a new baby. And the two of us used together. And unfortunately, years down the road, we two of us relapsed and we went our own separate ways. And I went back to being powerless. And yeah, she's no longer with us. You know, I'm sitting at a table here and I can picture it. And she put the pictures of our children, one of them being mine, on the table, stood up in a chair, put a rope around the top of the door, put it around her neck, and she's gone. Like so many people, and you know, I just share about that, and there's a reason for it. And I remember someone said, "Is it like shock tactics?" And maybe it fucking is. I don't know, but I suppose it's to highlight the seriousness of what we deal with. She couldn't treat her illness, so she checked out. She checked out on herself and her children. She thought it was the only way out. Yeah, the bitter ends, we call it. Jails, institutions, and death. And that's where she went. You know, and by the grace of God, I'm still here today. What I know today is that God was always part of my life. He was always guiding me. I ignored him a lot of the time, but I believe he had me on a path. Even within all my relapses, in and out fellowship, and at one stage I was coming up to 5 year. I was in a different fellowship, and again after another treatment centre, it was enough for me not to be using, not to be on the streets, not to be in prison, not to be robbing people. And again, I thought I had life sussed and I had it licked. You know, I used to go to meetings. And I'd go with motives. I was sick, I was untreated. So I went to meetings for the wrong motives. I went to all the conventions, all the unity days. I was in the middle of it. But again, I was untreated in the middle of it. I had no program, had no step work done. Laughing to myself. At this stage, I'd met another woman in another treatment centre and promised her the sun, moon and stars, and had another child. And couldn't look after myself. And we relapsed. And we used. Yeah, for me today, there's a difference, and a huge difference, and I only realised it this time. I celebrated 2 year a couple of weeks ago, and I swear to God, and I say this from the heart, it is the best 2 years of my life. The best 2 years of my life. And what I mean by the best is, I mean the freest, the most comfortable, the most happy. I have an abundance that I never thought was possible. I never believed you people. I said, no, not for me. They're lawyers. Again, because it was detached and resentful. So yeah, 2 years ago, I after another relapse again. My second name is Merrigan, and people used to say, "Oh, Paul Merry-Go-Round," because I used to go in and out, in and out, in and out, and it was a bit of a running joke. And I used to laugh, "Oh yeah," and I wore it like a badge of honor. But inside, I was fucking dying. I was fucking screaming inside. I was rotten. I was fucking powerless, and I didn't know what was wrong with me. I didn't know what I suffered with. And, you know, going to meetings and not having a sponsor and not having a program and seeing people get well, it reaffirmed there's something fucking wrong with you, Paul. There's something wrong. Something happened at childbirth that you're not the same as these people, and you just can't get it together. And there was nothing wrong with me. I was the exact same as all these other people. The only difference between them getting well and me is they put the work in and they took action and they continued to take action. So yeah, this time I had another gift of desperation. I had many of them over my years. I had another gift of desperation. And within that gift, I had, the way we talk about the window of opportunity, I had an opportunity to ask a man to sponsor me. He put his hand out to shake my hand. He said, I would love to sponsor you, but I know you. This man's around many years. He said, I know you, and I know you're full of shit. Are you willing to shut the fuck up for once in your life? And are you willing to go to any lengths? And I said, yes, and yes, 100%. I knew I could not manage my own life with or without substances. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't live in the world. I couldn't be comfortable. I didn't have freedom. I didn't have ease and comfort. I couldn't be a father. I couldn't be in a relationship. I couldn't live. I really couldn't live. I didn't know who I was or what I was doing or where I was going. You know, my past gave me a lot of excuses. A lot of excuses. What I know today is that I suffer with this illness of the mind, and it will latch on to good times, bad times, and different times. It's always there, and it will speak to me. It will tell me, yeah, you're right to do this. Yeah, don't mind them. Don't listen to them. No, you're right, Paul. Yeah, no, you're justified to do this. And for a long time, I used because my mother and father were both heroin addicts. I had my first pipe with my mother. She's crackhead all her life. We went out stroking together. She showed me how to cook up, put it into a syringe, and she used to put it into my arms. And that was the illness she had. She knew no different. I took her at 40 and never gave her back. She died last December. But I blamed her for years. Because within that blame, my illness latched onto that blame, and it didn't have to be accountable. I didn't have to be accountable for what I done. So I continued using and blaming that woman and using with her. Even though she was sick, I was using with her. Yeah, I had loads of excuses. Today I have fucking zero. None whatsoever. And what a freedom that is. And I get excited and I feel it in my heart because for the first time in my life, I know I never have to pick up again. I never have to use again. Once I do what I need to do every 24 hours. And that's not, to me, that's ease and comfort, but it's even another level. It's freedom. It's freedom for me on there. I never have to be the man I used to be. I never have to be the absent father. I never have to be the low-life scumbag. I never have to harm people. I don't have to be. Yeah. Today, I suppose I'm the man I always wanted to be. Always wanted to be. I'm probably always meant to be. When I came back in this time, I heard a South African man, and it could have been on Richmond. I heard a South African man saying, the hole in the soul is where God was always meant to be. You were trying to fill it with everything else. It was always meant to be God. Today, God is the most important thing in my life. And whatever your higher power is completely up to you. My concept is God is the most important thing in my life. As soon as I open my eyes, I look for God. I search for God. I activate my spirit. I ask for direction. I ask, how can I be of service? How can I do your work? He's my employer. And I have to turn up and I have to show up. The book and the steps gave me that. And, I've said this before. The man that agreed to sponsor me, and I love him dearly, he took me through the steps, guided me through them. All the nuts and bolts and all that icky stuff, and the fourth step and the apologising and the amends and the see me defects and all that. Oh, I don't like this stuff. I faced it. He supported me with it. He took me by the hand and he put my hand in God's hand. That's what happened for me. I rely on God as much as I can. I don't always get it right because I still suffer with this illness. I still have all these defects. I'm going through a few things that the last couple of days, and I'm in it, and I like to be 6-year-old Paul and feel sorry for myself and hard done by, and she said this and no, she shouldn't have done that to me, and no, I feel justified, and this whole narrative. No, you're right, Paul, you're right. No, God, you'll have to wait as well. I'm going to take this one. I'll take this one back. And what happens is when I take my will back, I'm left in a world of hurt and pain and misery and disconnection. And then other people feel it from me. So I hurt other people around me. Yeah. CA, the book, and God have saved my life. Have saved me. Really have. Now, I remember when I came back around this time, I met that man, and he was into Richmond, and I remember going on, and Richmond at the time was a hybrid, and there was people in the room and on the meeting, and there was fucking 100 and something people. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? And there was people shouting and roaring and like, get up out and the book and discipline, discipline, discipline. And I was there, what the fuck is this? Like, I've been to different fellowships. I've been around 25 years. I never experienced anything like it. And I sat up and I listened and I had my camera on. I says, there's something different here. There's something different about this that I've never experienced before. Maybe I was just closed off, but I don't think I've ever seen it before. And what I've seen is people were alive. People were free from who they used to be. Not the way people talk about who they used to be and you say, fucking hell, is that the same person? Is that the same man? And it is. They completely changed. There's a complete transformation. And that's what happened to me. And it started with me being disciplined. I couldn't discipline myself. I don't know if God was disciplining me or my fucking sponsor was just telling me, just do it, Paul. Just fucking do it. I remember when I was doing my fourth step and I was doing columns and I didn't really want to do it. I was there, I fucking hate this stuff. And I remember saying, like, what's the story? How wide do the columns have to be? Anything just not to do it. And he said, shut the fuck up and put the pen to the paper. Get stuck in. You know, and I've shared this before, and I could see people on the screen speaking to people like that. That's not right. But what he did say is he said, Paul, I care more about your life than your feelings. If I hurt your feelings, so be it. But this will save your life. Do what you're fucking told. Please put pen to the paper and get this stuff down. Get free from it. And that's what I did. He done it with love. There was a reason why he was saying what he was saying. He wanted me to get well. And I followed his direction. I done what I was told. And I have the freedom. Yeah. I know, listen, I'm coming up on 20 minutes. You know, by me getting this freedom and doing what I've done, and what I've been gifted, divinely given, I'm after being given the life I have today. Even the book is divinely written. At the time it was done, by the people it was done, and all these years later, like it talks about it in the book, it's a wholesale miracle. I know this in my heart and soul that this is a fucking miracle that we have. It's not given to us. It's not just put on a silver platter and handed it to us. It's shown, it's laid out in front of us. But me, I had to take the action. I had to put into it. I had to give 100% to this program in order to get what I have. And I remember at the start, I signed a contract. I signed a contract between me, my sponsor, and God. And I promised that I would be there for any man that needed the light, any man that needed an arm put around him, and any man that needed to be shown there's a way out. And that's what I do. I bring men through the book, they bring men through the book, they bring other men through the book, and it's that ripple effect. And you see people growing and getting their families back, and getting the freedom and the peace of mind, the quietness, and getting an understanding. The biggest thing for me was understanding that I have an illness of the mind that needs to be treated and cannot be treated by any other therapy, any other fucking walking up mountains and going to the beach and doing fucking all the lovely stuff. I love doing all that stuff, but that's not gonna help me. That's not gonna treat the illness. The only thing to treat the illness is the book. All the answers are in this. All the answers. The book is like that. It's just level and always there. Me, I'm up and I'm down, I'm around, but the book is there. It has all the answers. It has all I need in life. And it's given me a life beyond my wildest dreams. I'm a father today, and I help people that work in a hospital with active addicts, and I'm there for my children. My son was up in court last week. He's selling crack, and he's choosing his own path. My daughter nearly went to prison a couple of weeks ago for the same thing. I turned up to court. I was there. It's not an excuse to use. It's not an excuse to feel sorry for myself. My illness will say, "Yeah, you are shit. You walked out on them. You weren't there. You're a fucking low life use." Nah, no. I have no excuse anymore. When life gets lifey and things get tough, I double up my efforts. I lean into the program. I seek more of God, more of what He wants of me. I look for people to help. I search for people who are suffering. I reach out to people. I pray. I meditate. My life is beautiful. From the person I was to who I am now, it's just a transformation. How did I get it? I got a sponsor, got a book. I rang the sponsor. I done what I was told. I done the work. I had a vital spiritual awakening. And now I just do it every day. I do what works for me every day. And I try not get complacent. And again, I'm not cured. I'm still in a bit of self-pity today. But it will pass. God will remove it from me. I love this way of life. I love CA. I love what I've been given. And I love newcomers coming in. There's a way out. Please stick with us. Take that leap of faith. Get a sponsor, get a book, and watch your life change. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.